Hello everyone, this is Jared Miller. I'm coming at you today with a quick little tutorial on the reverse figure eight wrist roll for single nunchucks. This one's kind of a fun one to do, and actually once you kind of get the feel for it, it's really not that tricky to learn. It does got a kind of couple of hump points to go over, so to speak, so I'll kind of try to work through those with you guys here. But basically, the way to start, or the way that I learned it, was to really kind of get yourself engaged and feel your forward wrist rolls just a couple times. It really helps when you're coming to reverse the motion, it helps your body to be like, okay, now what's backwards? Oh, that's backwards from what I just did. Like literally, you're just doing the reverse roll. So, but basically what I think of it is I break apart part one and part two of the regular figure eight wrist roll. So you have part one, which is the basic roll over your back of your hand to where you're in reverse grip. Swing around to part two where you're back over in the front grip again. So what I'll do is I'll do part one and part two. And this is how I relate to training people, so to speak. So when you go part one, part two, and then as you see I'm coming down there, you basically just reverse part two. So if you know that was part two, you just come straight back up your hand with it. So it's basically like you're doing this roll here, but you're doing it behind you. See that? So again, you go 1, 2, pause, reverse 2. Okay, now the tricky part is once you've got that reversal, so let's say that you're starting, you can even start in this position and just come up and then back over your hand. And then that'll lead you over to here. And so the biggest trick I feel like is learning how to go from this position over into the other side to release it, because it's really tricky. And the thing is here is once you've come up with it, so no matter what way you approach it, if you're here and just reverse here, what happens is it comes over the back side of your wrist right here, if you can see that. And so what happens is it feels kind of weird when it comes up. So it goes there, and the natural motion is going to be right there. And if you look at it upon initial presentation, it just looks like it's just going to kind of stop and not really do anything. So the trick is to get it to use its natural motion to come back and untangle itself. And so what I like to do is to practice that basic motion. What I'll do is just a regular figure eight, just not even a wrist roll. Just if you practice this motion. But what you'll do is you'll practice this in the reverse grip. So you go here, and you're going to practice upward, your upward figure eight. And what really helps you here is if you look closely, you can see that side where it wraps right there, where I showed you before, that motion is part of this whole thing. So as it comes over, it just rolls off the wrist, it comes back around and does that. And so again, what I like to do, just reverse grip and just practice this basic wrist roll. And as you can kind of see, to get it out of the way, I kind of will take the stick in my hand here and kind of move it back and forth just to kind of get it out of the way. But this will help give you the feel for how the chain or the rope is going to roll over your wrist. Okay, so now where that comes into play is when you do that first motion. Again, the natural speed and motion of the nunchuck is going to be to go over to this apparently locking side. So if you practice this enough, what you know is once it comes to there, all you have to do is let it come up and then roll back. So when you come into your first reverse side, now you've done that same motion, now you've released it. And as you see here, you basically just have to follow through. So again, connecting it all together, it becomes the reverse figure eight wrist roll. And again, just that tricky part. You see how I just paused it right there and just started going into that wrist roll, and then you just go and pause and go again. Go from the side here so you can kind of see a little bit of a different angle. But as you can see, that natural motion is to go over my wrist there. So practicing this will really help you get over that hump there. So again, and this is what it's going to look like all together. I'm going to try to put some of that on a first-person shot here and kind of show you how that works. So again, just trying to show you how the motion here works. You're just going to hold it in reverse grip and practice your upward figure 8. I apologize for the bad angle on this, but I really wanted to demonstrate how the cord or chain will be wrapping around the backside of your wrist doing these upwards figure 8s with reverse grip. It's a huge connecting part to doing the reverse figure 8 wrist roll, so understanding this will really help you get over that initial hump. As you can see, going from side to side, as it goes from left to right, it naturally wants to wrap over my wrist. So basically what you do is you help guide it back over to the left, and its natural motion will be to unwind itself as it continues in a full circle. And then as it would come over at that point, you would basically release your reverse grip and allow the nunchuck to complete the forward portion of the wrist roll to where you would end up in the front grip once again, having completed the full cycle at that point. But basically that's it. And so again, it just comes from breaking apart your two pieces. So this is the regular, so you go 1, 2, now you just go 2, 1. And the linking is the same. It's the same figure 8 on the other end as you're doing this, but you're just reversing the directionality of it. And what's cool about that is, so let's say you're doing your forward figure 8 wrist rolls. If you turn around when it's coming over to do one side of it, you turn around, now you're just doing your reverse. And so this is how you stay fluid with this particular move, see? So I can just keep, and it's not changed directions at all this entire time. It's still spinning the exact same way, but because I understand how to do the forward and reverse, I can literally just turn circles with it. Or I can go the other way with it. So again, it just unlocks so many different things. You can do your reverse grip, single aerials. One that I'll kind of start into is I'll be doing my reverse figure 8s, and then as it comes to that wrap motion, I'll just hold the stick with my hand, pause it, and then bounce it and toss it into an aerial. So again, say I'm doing this. Got my awesome, sweet reverse figure 8 wrist rolls that we just learned. Then I'll hit this, pop it up into an aerial. So again, it opens up so many different things. So I know that's kind of a wonky one. If you feel like there's a part you would like me to break down a little better or get more in depth on, definitely feel free to let me know. Thanks.